Open your eyes slowly. Good. What shall we talk about this morning?
Earlier this week, you mentioned that the role of the guru is to place a pebble on the track of the path on which the person riding the donkey, going along, having a little sleep.
The ox cart.
The ox cart.
Yeah.
My question is, how does the guru decide the size of the pebble? First of all, it's got to be large enough to wake the driver, but not too large to throw him off the track.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You have such a wonderful sense of humor. It's just astonishing. How does the guru decide what size of the pebble he should use not to throw the cart off the track? Right. I'm putting it in.
That's right. Thank you.
Well, only a guru can know that. Next question. Good, let's pursue with this. The guru, firstly, should know, ideally, if he's a true guru, how deep those grooves are. Then he should also know the extent of the depth of sleep of the driver. He should also know the power of the ox and the power of the cart. Because when he wakes up the driver, he does not shock the driver. Sometimes you have to shock them. Depending upon the person. But in all probability and possibility, he tries to be as gentle as possible. Now here we have so many factors that are involved. The oxen cart, the ox, the driver, and the grooves, and the pebble. Good. How do we measure them? In the first place, why is the driver sleeping? Do the ox or oxen require awakening, or does the driver require awakening? The ox are awake. They're riding away in the grooves. The wheels are turning in the grooves. But in this life, the wheels are turning, the grooves are there, and you all know about it. You move within your own personal patterns. Those are your grooves. and moving in your personal patterns. You just go on and on and on, and expecting the ox to take you where you want to be. So you are asleep. But if you had the awareness of where you are going and where you want to be, what a great difference it would make. Now, as you go in this oxen cart and you're awake instead of sleeping, you'll still reach there while you're sleeping. But look at the joy and the fun. If you are awake and watch the beautiful scenery that you are passing by. What we teach of is awakening, to be awakened to life and love and laughter and the joyousness which this life really is, and not sleep through the journey that we are going through. We do not sleep through the journey that we are going through. We go through the journey, whichever path you are taking. To Chicago, Washington, Seattle, to you name it. But be awake and enjoy what you are going through. What are you going through? Depends entirely upon the development of your awakening. If you're half asleep, you will not notice all of it. And if you're fully awake, you will notice all of it, including the pains and the pleasures. So why postpone it? Let me experience the pains and the pleasures. Why not? Let me do it. But when true awakening comes about, the true awakening will show you that I find no difference at all between my pains and my pleasures. They are the same. Two sides of the same coin. So when the Guru throws that pebble or the stone in the groove to awaken, it's for a purpose. He might even not throw a stone in the groove. He might throw it at your head. Especially at thick heads. For one purpose only. For the purpose of realization. What do I have to realize? I do not have to realize God. To hell with him, because that's where he lives. Did you know that? It's a very revolutionary statement. God lives in hell, and that is why you suffer hell. If he had to be living in heaven, you'd be having heaven. He's not an unfair guy, really. He's very fair. He's justice himself. Good. So the Guru throws that rock, not only in the groove, but if needed, at your head. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Idiot. How many times have you ladies now that have children didn't have the trouble of waking up the kids in the morning? Come on, up, up. You got to go to school. I know my wife, Lata, when the kids are writing exams, she wakes up 4 o'clock in the morning, knocks on the door of the kids. Come on, wakey, wakey, wakey. Second time, wake up, wake up, wake up. Third time, hey, come on, damn it. Fourth time, she pulls off the sheets, the blankets, and if the worst comes to the worst, she'll even sprinkle a little water on their faces. Now, aren't all mothers really gurus? To wake up the children? Yes. So the whole point of the question is the awakening. Awaken first to yourself. Awaken to yourself by knowing who you are. You are not even aware of your own bodies. Do you know that? When you are not aware of your own bodies, you are not even aware of all your physical instincts that are inbuilt within you and inherited by you through so many past experiences of life. People come to me and they ask me all kinds of questions. I mean, to a guru, you don't hide anything. You open up to him. Otherwise, what's the sense of having a guru? For example, now, a woman comes to me and she says, I love my husband very much, but I do not find the orgasmic sensation with him. And did you know 40% of the world's women are frigid? And that frigidity in those women are created by the man to a great extent. Many men come to me with, we're talking on sexual problems, okay? I mean, I could quote so many different other things. Many men come to me and say, I fail to have an erection, and yet I love my wife so much. She's everything to me, but I fail in this. Guruji, why? Then Guruji says, you tell me why. And I will tell you the why of the why of the why of the why of the why. It does not start at the moment when you want to start making love. No, no, no. The whole procedure of love making, I'm using this as an analogy, the whole procedure of love making starts from the morning you wake up, and those little sweetnesses, kindnesses, smiles, little kisses, little hugs. Huh? Those are the seeds you plant, and you keep on planting. And when it comes to night, when you go to bed, the seeds have ripened, and you are awake, awakening to love making. Although that's not so important, of course. But nevertheless, as an analogy, and I found as a consultant to doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists and physiotherapists and you name them all, I find that the world's trouble, although I do not agree with Freud in totality, but there are some things that I do agree with, that the majority of the world's trouble is not being able to share each other because they're both asleep. They're both asleep. That sleep does not lie in your physical organism. That sleep lies in your awareness. How many times have you touched your husband or wife and actually felt the pulsation going through her body? There is a very fine pulsation which intermingles with the pulsation that is within you. And then what happens? Both pulsate together. The negative current, the positive current, get together to bring light, awakening. I personally have never slept with a woman in my life in deadness. Whenever I have slept with a woman, I would feel every pulsation in her body, and she would feel every pulsation in me, so that there are no two pulsations anymore. There's only one pulsation. And that is light. Cut off the negative wire, or you cut off the positive wire, there's no light. But this has to be started from the very moment you wake up. Little kind words. For example, if I'm shaving in the bathroom and my wife wants to, do a face, which is all rubbish, of course, I don't mind. Why not? It gives her pleasure. Because the most beautiful face in the world is the most natural face, and you do not need powdering and puffing and huffing and shuffling and shoveling. So I'd move to one side. I go to one bathroom, move to one side. Come, darling. Yeah, push in. Yeah, come. I can still, scrape away while she's doing her other scraping away. I am scraping away the hair to make my face clean. She is putting on all this cosmetics, is that what you call it? Right? To hide all the rubbish that's there. I scrape it away, clean it away, and she hides it away. But I don't mind. I say, come darling, come. I'll shift over and I can always look coolly in the mirror and, That's where it starts. Few nice words, little sweetness, little goodness. There's nothing wrong while she is putting on all that goo on her face for me to pinch a bum. It makes it interesting. Huh? Why not? Damn it, live, live, live. Be awake. Be awake. And then when I pinch her bum, then she in turn pinches my bum. Play. Play. Now the point we are getting at is this, that life is a play. And the very awakening of you to yourself is a play. Not lay. That's unimportant. Play. Do you get the point? Life has to be an art. It's not mechanical. Once you make life into mechanics, boom, 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 A, B, C, D, E, F, X, Y, Z, it becomes mechanical. But if life is made into an art, and art and the ear are so combined. So if life is a play, play it by ear. Play it by ear. And let things just flow, flow, flow. For example, in lovemaking, if you become conscious of the very act of coitus, it's a failure. But be in the play without being conscious of it. And you flow. And you just flow. And that flow is awakening. Awakening is not mechanics. Awakening has nothing to do with mechanics. Because as soon as you apply a mechanics to it, as soon as you apply a system to it, life ceases on the spot. Then there is no life. Of course, one has to have a system, but a generalized system. I do not need to decide now that when I go downstairs, I'm going to use the lift, the escalator, elevator. I do not need to decide that now, or to take the steps down to my room. It's a waste of energy, valuable energy. Why can't I share that energy here and now with you instead of thinking, should I take the elevator or the steps? Right, when I go out there, I'll just do what I feel. Take the elevator. 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 In South Africa, we call it lift. Right. Or in England as well, love. Or shall I take the staircase? Huh? And this word elevator, where did you people get this word from? It's damn wishful thinking, absolutely. Elevate is to make you rise up. But I see your elevators also go down. So where does the word come from? What is elevator? You should be elevated all the time in the awakening of everything in life, every pore of your body must be awakened. And when every pore, every cell of your body is awakened, then you will know the awakening. That is what Buddha said. The awakened one. The illumined one. Be awake. Be awake. And to be awake, be aware of all that is in you and around you. I am totally aware of myself. And at the same time, I'm totally aware of my wife. And at the same time, I'm totally aware of my environment. I do not need to go out and count how many leaves there are in this tree. But I'm aware of the leaves that are on this tree that makes this tree so beautiful. Awakening does not mean counting the leaves. Awakening does not mean counting the threads in this carpet. Awakening means to be able to have the perception of the beauty of this carpet or the beauty of those trees there. That is awakening. But we get lost in details, like you Canadians, all of you. Guruji, 9 o'clock, we're going to do that. 9:15, we're going to do that. 9:10, do this. 11 o'clock, do that.
1:15, go to the radio station.
I don't want to be smart, but the universe is orderly.
Universe is never orderly, it is systematic. Right. Life must be lived, and here is something more about awakening. Life is like a poem. I've read a lot of Chetanji's poems, and they're so beautiful. Although his poems are mostly bhakti, devotional poems. It's good. It expresses the heart. Lets out what is there. Wonderful. Good. Right. Life must be like a poem. It is set in a certain metrical system. Pentameters, that, yeah. Right, okay. But yet within the framework of the meter, there is freedom of expression. So, you combine both system and art, mechanics and art, dynamics, kinetics and art. The river flows. Does the river know at what speed it is going or how slow it is going? But yet the banks are there. It has to go through that system. But governed by the rules of the currents, the wind, the velocity, it will flow. Sometimes slow, sometimes fast. That is awakening. To be conscious of everything. When I hold my beloved's hand, for example, I could feel the total pulsation of herself from the hair of her head to the bottom of her toes and everything else that goes in between, including the center part. That is awakening. To be fully aware of what you are and what she is and what the whole world around you is. And when you develop that awareness, you become aware of God. Then you will see only that everything else, everything including you, is non-separable because God is indivisible. One energy, one beautiful energy. I've been told many times that after I do go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi communion practice, that just automatically one hand goes down and the other one goes up. I'm not conscious of it actually. I get told about it afterwards. And then I try and ask what it means. Down is relativity, up is the absolute, and may is the relativeness and the absoluteness combined within me. That is awakening. That is to be awake. How many times have you got up in the morning with a totally clear mind, unfilled with any kind of thought? You have not. Every time you wake up in the morning, there's a thought there. Vidya will think, I must make toast for Bapuji. Bring him a cup of tea. This, that. Thought. You have been awakened to your mind, but not to yourself. Bring me that cup of tea without thinking of it. Make it a natural action. Don't think, oh, I've got to jump up here now and bring Bapuji his cup of tea. Because when he wakes up, he wants his cup of tea. That is the difference between thought and awakening. We mistake the two by thinking that I am awake. And yet, where am I awake? No one thinks of that. Because as soon as you start thinking where you are awake, then you are involved in the mind and in your thought and still fast asleep. Every action is the grace of whatever there is. Every action I do is never premeditated, never thought about. Just a flow. My life personally is a flow, like the river flows. It does not want to know its direction. It does not want to know the velocity. It does not want to know the hydroelectric energy within it. It just keeps on flowing and flowing and flowing. The eternal process until it reaches the ocean. And yet in the ocean, the river is still there. The river is still flowing, but in that beautiful quietude. That it does not know of its flow anymore. So in practical living, be awake, and at the end there is eternal sleep when you merge away into the divinity. When you merge away into the divine, this eternal sleep. And yet, when you sleep, you're still awake. When you're fast asleep, your river's fast asleep in the ocean. You are still awake, not as the river anymore, but awake as the universe, awake as the ocean is. क्या समझ पड़ा आपको? मैंने सभी बात की आप लोग के लिए, and you can understand Chinese. जो आप हमारी बात समझेगा, तुम्हारा सब लोग का जीवन कल्याण होगा. मैं वहां से आए, बहुत दूर से आए, जो मेरे पास, जो मेरे पांव चूमने के लिए आए, तो चलो हमारे साथ हाथ हाथ पकड़कर चलो, चलो इस दुनिया की जीवन में चलो, इस चलने में, इस राह पर हम और तुम कितने आनंद पाएंगे. Hold it up. I got another 20 years to go. हम और तुम और ये खुशी कितनी अच्छी है ये जिंदगी हम और तुम और ये खुशी कितनी अच्छी है ये जिंदगी ला 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 la 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 I and you and this beautiful world, how much happiness there is. And as we walk on this path of life, let us share the joy. Come on. हम और तुम और ये खुशी कितनी अच्छी है ये जिंदगी कितनी अच्छी है जिंदगी Okay.